Hi, welcome back. We're now in Lesson 3, Communicating in Groups. This lesson revolves around a project called a panel discussion. So what we're going to do is learn a lot about working in groups by working in a group. Now I've assigned all of you 2 groups, and you'll be meeting with 6 to 7 students that you probably will not know, but you will get to know them really well throughout this project. And if you click on the link at the top of the lesson, you can see which group you've been assigned to. You'll also create an outline together. And if you remember in a classroom situation, I might have you all sit around a table and bring your research and all of your material with you. But what we're going to do in this situation is we're all going to share our research information in a Google Doc. In fact, as you type your information onto your Google Doc page, all other 5 members of your group can be involved in that document. They can see what you're typing as you type it and add their research in as well. So we'll be working collaboratively, both orally and on the written outline. Now before we get into this project, let's take a look at what group communication is. So group communication is a collection of 3 or more people who interact and attempt to influence each other in order to accomplish a common purpose. And group communication is all the verbal and nonverbal messages that are shared among the group members. So if you're going to work with a group of people that you don't know, some of the things you want to know before you start is what makes a group healthy. So some of the ways that you can ensure the success of your group is to make sure that your group sets some ethical goals up front. Healthy groups are also independent, and they also abide by productive norms. Healthy groups are also accountable and synergistic, meaning they work together and they report to one another. Now this is an interesting dilemma in cyberspace because we need to use the resources available, the technology available, to create opportunities for people to succeed at working together. So we want to organize around some challenging performance targets. We want to provide opportunities to develop tact knowledge without neglecting or exchanging broader knowledge. And we want to encourage frequent and rigorous performance feedback. I've heard from people working in groups quite a bit that I didn't like the group experience because everybody bailed on me and I had to do all of the work. So one of the things that's really important is that we all contribute an equal amount to the process, and that we all look at and value the contributions of each group member. A lot of this comes from when we set up our groups. We're going to go through some different stages of development. These are the 5 stages that people normally go through. First, we're going to come together into the forming stage, and this means we're going to get to know each other, and that's a really important stage because we can set up some tone in that forming stage. Is this going to be a friendly group? Is this going to be a serious study group? And the tone that we set up as we meet and develop our group objectives and norms is really important. The second thing that usually happens when groups get together is we start sharing information and get to know each other a little bit. And from that, we move into norming. Now this is really important because we're setting up the norms or the rules or guidelines for how the group will work together. Now if we don't have any expectations, we may have a group that won't function very well. So that's one reason that setting up criteria and talking about some of these norms in the beginning can be important. Then we actually have to perform the task that's put before us. And another big part is adjourning and assessing what we've done. Several types of groups that are set up. We have families, we have social and friendship groups, support groups, interest groups, service groups, and work groups. We'll be in a work group, and we have some tasks that I've asked you to perform. So as I talked earlier about the norming process, setting up a criteria that we will be evaluating the other members of our group before we actually start working together can be important. And this is just an example of what an evaluation sheet might look like. And this is one that I'll ask you after each required group meeting, provide ethical critiques for both your group members and yourself. And so we can look at what just happened in our group meetings. Did I seem committed to the group goal? Did I fulfill the individual assignment? Did I manage my interpersonal conflicts and relationships with the other members in my group? Did I encourage participation, and did I keep the discussion on track? Now, I'm not going to require that you do this, but I do think it's a good idea to do some form of evaluating all of the members of your group. All right, so that was a little bit about our upcoming assignment. I want to let you know that in the next lesson we'll be talking a little bit about the roles that we'll be playing as we get into the assignment. So I'll see you then.